Portrait of a Lady on Fire is a critically acclaimed French period drama, and because it's French, I'm probably going to screw up the name of the director and a couple of the cast members' names, so I'm very, very sorry for that. Directed by Celine Sciamma, who directed Tomboy and Girlhood. And this centers around two main characters, though there are two other meaty roles that are in this. Marianne, who is a painter that is tasked with painting the portrait of a girl named Heloise. And Heloise's mother, wants Marianne to use her skills to paint Heloise's portrait in secret. Why does she need to do that? Heloise is meant to be given away in a marriage to Manon Milan, a marriage she does not want, a marriage she does not want to be part of, and there are reasons I'll get into in spoilers, but Marianne, as good of a painter as she is, usually you have somebody pose for paintings. Well, Heloise isn't going to do that. She doesn't want to be cooperative at all. So Marianne was brought under the guise of being a companion, going out for walks and stuff like that to keep Heloise company. And the mother even says, hey, use your skills. It's like she doesn't want this, but I know this is going to be what's best for her, but especially best for the family. And there are other reasons I'll go into in spoilers a little bit later on. But Marianne must steal glances and just remember the contours of her face, just the way her hair is, the way she visualizes a lot of, some of the contours of her ears, of her hands, how her hands are arranged, the way her eyes are shaped, the way her hairline is, just everything. She has to memorize that and use her insanely, great talent as an artist, as a painter, to paint the perfect portrait to be given to this man that Heloise is going to be married to. Now, that sounds like a simple story, and on the surface it is. This is very much a character study, and it's a really, really good character study. I will not mix words. This movie is fucking phenomenal. It is absolutely great. It's one of the best movies that I've seen in the last 5 years. Maybe even the last 10. And there's a few reasons for that. With a simple story like this, just describing that right there, you might think, okay, why is this movie so good? There's a few reasons. In a simple story like this, you have to have really, really good performances. It's impossible for me to talk too much more about it without getting into spoilers, but as far as the cast, Noemi, Marianne, I'm sorry if I got that wrong, she played Marianne. She was fucking great in this. As a torn artist, she doesn't want to lie to this young woman, as she herself is a young woman. She doesn't want to lie to her. She enjoys being around her, and she wants to honor the mother's wishes, but also be honest with Heloise. And Heloise is reserved for reasons. She has her reasons for not wanting to be cooperative beyond just not wanting to be part of this marriage. And you find out why she's part of it a little bit later on. But those two performances in particular are just absolutely great. You can feel like, the war inside each person as they're trying to come to grips with a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, where life is going to take them, and what they can and can't control. And the thing about this movie also is the visuals are absolutely great. The cinematography, the way it's directed, the way it's presented, some of the scenes look like they're straight out of a freaking painting. And I mean, like really good paint. Like it's just amazing. Like some of them almost seem oil-like paintings, and just other like styles. It just has this cool, rich, atmospheric, amazing. It's hard to really describe it word for word. It's just this rich visual treat that you just can feast your eyes on. And it just literally, it's that cliche. It absolutely is just an absorbing movie with the way it's filmed. Now, also, again, strong performances, strong cinematography, strong visuals. What does this movie really have? It has a lot of heart to it. Now, I can definitely see this movie boring a lot of people. In fact, I can see it boring quite a few people. This isn't just a slow burn. This is barely a slow boil. This is something that takes a while. And as a drama, it works because you can just see as the scenes advance, almost every line, and it is subtitled, by the way. It is subtitled because it's in French, so I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but Parasite was fucking amazing, and a lot of, French movies have been really damn good. This is one of those where, yes, you were going to have to read it. But dubbing a movie into, English, in my opinion, at least as far as something like this, I think would take away from it. And you can just see the emotions just permeating across the screen, off the screen to you. It's just amazing to see what these two women were able to accomplish. And Valerie Golino, who plays the mother, she was really, really good in this as somebody that I think knows deep in her heart that this isn't what her daughter wants, but it is what's best for the family. And she feels bad because as a woman, she only has so much power. And this man wants to marry her daughter. What is she supposed to do? And there's also a character named Sophie, Luana Bajarmi. I'm very, very sorry for that. But she is a very, very good actress as well. Young actress who is in tune with like playing her part very, very well. She's a pseudo caretaker of the family, and it's just very, very good, in this role. It's really hard to describe a lot of this without getting into spoilers, but this movie is goddamn amazing. The richness, the atmosphere, the music is absolutely incredible. There's this one musical number, and there's a lot of good music in it, but around a campfire that is just so goddamn absorbing. It's just, it's like this, multi-person like singing. It's like just almost like a freaking choir just like breaks up, but just the way it was done, the music, I have no idea what they were saying. It was in French, and unfortunately that part wasn't subtitled, but it was just very, very good. And then also it's centered around music. Music actually does play a big part into why these two women eventually, come to grips and get get close and everything, and understand they do have some commonalities, even coming from different backgrounds. But this movie is just absolutely goddamn amazing. It really fucking is. I can't praise this movie enough. So I'm actually going to get into spoilers here. So I do apologize if I was a little vague, but there's a reason why I was vague. So get into spoilers in just a little bit, but honestly, see this fucking movie. This movie was goddamn amazing. Fucking fantastic. Great stuff. Very absorbing. And now we're getting into spoilers here, folks. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So if you're here, spoiler territory. So that whole thing about Heloise being in this arranged marriage, it's because her sister committed suicide. And her sister was supposed to be given to this man, but Heloise now must be. Marianne is painting, eventually finds, that she is falling for Heloise. These two women fall for each other, essentially, is what happens. There are nude scenes and some love scenes, and they're actually tastefully done. They're actually pretty tastefully done. And it does take a while to get to that stuff. This isn't just straight one of those. It's not like Blue is the Warmest Color where they did like a 7-minute long scene. Even though Blue is the Warmest Color was a pretty damn good movie, it was long, and that one particular scene was long, but it was a good movie. It didn't have anything that lengthy. That sounds kind of wrong, but this movie just had just this cool eye-opening experience about it. And Marianne stealing the glances and everything. Heloise can obviously sense that something's amiss. And eventually Marianne tells her that, hey, I'm here to paint you. That's what I'm doing. I was tasked to do this, but I don't want to lie to you. Heloise eventually agrees to pose for her. And there's, lessons of life and love and everything. The music comes into play where Heloise is very sheltered, lived in a convent, had never never heard the orchestra, had only heard organ music, at churches. So that plays in a little bit later. Marianne describes it to her. Again, they fall in love. Obviously, they can't be together because one of them's in an arranged marriage. There is a beginning scene where Marianne recounts this whole story, and then we wrap all the way back around. They're happy. They're obviously sad that they have to split, but they're happy that they met each other. They opened each other's eyes, and there's a lot of really, really good stuff. It's really moving, honestly. I mean, some people might not be moved. I wasn't moved to tears, but I could feel for these characters that wanted to be together, but they couldn't be. And then we wrap back around to Marianne being part of, being in this art, telling people about art, telling young girls about art. And then she recounts that she actually got to see Heloise again, got to see a picture of her. Later in her life, a number of years in her life, well, a few years later, and then eventually went to, a theater to hear the orchestra, and Heloise was there. Now, she was on the opposite side of the balcony and did not see her, but you could just see when she was finally able to hear that the closing shots of her hearing the music and just the emotion pouring out of her face, out of her eyes, because she was crying, but just seeing how much that music meant to her. Not being able to hear that before, and you could tell it reminded her of her. You could tell her it reminded Heloise of Marianne, and it was just Really, really good stuff. It was just a great closing shot. And this movie is goddamn amazing. It really is. I can't get over just how great this was. That campfire song in general was absolutely great. So I don't usually go this high on a movie. A, I mean, I have given a couple A grades out this year, but it's like I wasn't sure if this was going to meet the heights it did, and pretty damn close to perfect. Pretty damn close to perfect. This was fucking great. Absolutely an A. Deserves it. Great stuff. And just let me know what you guys think in the comments if you saw this movie, and let me know what you thought of the visuals, the acting, all that. Screenplay was also great. I can see why this got so much goddamn praise. So obviously an A. And let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.